So imagine that you have come on hard times. The 2008 housing crisis caused your employer to downsize and you lost your job. Then the bank foreclosed on your home. In addition, your spouse has a chronic condition requiring ongoing medical treatment, but you've lost your health insurance and have mounting debt due to medical bills. Your entire family is forced to live in your car, the one possession you still have. What would you do? How would you even find help? Individuals and families who experience homelessness include people like you and me, some educated and previously employed, who suddenly find that all of their capabilities cannot protect them from losing everything. They also include youth and the chronically homeless, many of whom suffer from mental illness and substance abuse. They are without shelter, a bathroom, hope, and for many, their dignity. So, my name is Emily Formson, and I represent the Family and Human Services Study Group. We decided to focus our research on the reality of homelessness, the most visual indicator of Oregon's failure to address long-standing inequities. Secure and sustainable housing is the critical stabilizing factor that enables families and individuals to access healthcare, employment, education, and recovery programs. Everyone needs a safe and stable place to call home. We almost don't need to look at the statistics to know that Oregon has the 5th highest rate per capita of homeless residents and the highest rate of unsheltered families. While the number of chronically homeless has decreased, we have seen an increase in the number of unsheltered women and an even larger increase in unsheltered African Americans in recent years. This is alarming and heartbreaking. More than 4,200 people are without permanent homes on any given night in Portland, or in the county, which is a 10% increase over the last couple of years. These statistics are grim, but there's hope because many agencies in our community are doing great work addressing the causes and consequences of homelessness, as well as the immediate crisis of being unhoused. In Multnomah County, a consortium of local government, private citizens, businesses, nonprofits, as well as individuals who themselves have experienced homelessness, have developed a community-wide plan using carefully chosen strategies in housing, employment, health, and emergency services. Their vision: no one should be homeless. Everyone needs a safe, stable place to call home. Prevention is key, but for those who are already homeless, the strategy A Home for Everyone and many others advocate is housing first, helping individuals and families secure and sustain permanent housing as quickly as possible. So among the leading causes and contributors to homelessness are a lack of affordable housing, mental illness and substance addiction, and our failure to adequately support youth transitioning out of foster care. Our committee looked at each of these contributing issues and what some local agencies, because there's a lot of great ones, are doing to address these often intersecting problems. Lack of affordable housing is at a critical level in Portland. In 2016, Portland had the highest rent increases in the US, along with an incredible shortage of affordable housing units. Because of the absence of adequate permanent housing, the county and the city need far more emergency and transitional shelters. Providing housing first, many nonprofits have committed to helping homeless families overcome the obstacles that prevent people from securing housing, address the immediate needs first, and then the supports necessary to move people from dependency and need to self-sufficiency and contribution. Imagine what our community would look like if we had multiple facilities which supported families in emergency and transitional shelters, along with clothing and food and the psychological services that they need, and healthcare and employment training. So, people experiencing homelessness often do have serious mental health and/or engage in substance abuse, but these problems are both a contributor and a consequence of homelessness. The community simply lacks adequate support services to address these issues. Supporting mentally ill, addicted homeless people requires multiple layers of service. For example, one organization provides inpatient detox treatment and a recuperative care program, which assures that discharged homeless patients have a place to go and follow-up treatment. Patients then there receive supportive housing, training, employment, and the resources they need to recover and become self-sufficient. Unfortunately, where public housing can provide resources, public funding can provide resources for housing, there is a dearth of support and funding for wraparound supports. So our last issue, youth transition out of the foster care system, transitioning out of foster care fare particularly poorly. The number of youth in foster care in Multnomah County is nearly 3 times the national average, and formerly fostered youth are at a very high risk for homelessness. Conservative estimates suggest that as many as 1 in 5 youth who age out of foster care will become homeless. Inadequate mental health care and limited housing options for youth exiting foster care all contribute to these devastating statistics. A multi-pronged approach to address the human costs and root causes of youth homelessness is necessary. Direct services and systemic change are required. One local organization, provides multi-generational housing where foster youth can live and be mentored in a family-like setting. So imagine if the nearly 2,000 homeless Portland area youth had a safe shelter, employment, and educational support, adequate health care, life skills training, and the support to become independent, self-sustaining citizens, fulfilling the promise of their young lives. The homeless epidemic is like an open wound here. It's a wound that can be treated and healed, though. We know the causes and cures, and we have the skills, knowledge, and creativity to address the problem. Now think back to the family I described earlier. What would it mean to them to have the necessary housing and support to have a safe, stable place to call home? Thank you.